I wore the same outfit as in my headshot so you'd recognize me. That was off script. Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even while we sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. I have my AirPods in all the time at the farm. I listen to music all the time. And last year on Spotify, I had listened to that song 287 times. I was in the top 0.001% of listeners, we recently found out the other day. And if you don't know the song, it's Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. And what gets me about it is that opening line, welcome to your life. There's no turning back. I was born and raised in the driftless region of Wisconsin. I am an only daughter and a middle child. My older brother is so much smarter than I'll ever be. And my little brother is so much cooler than I'll ever be. And I hope they just heard that over the live stream because I'm never saying it again. I like to say I was raised by the agriculture industry. It's such a community, and they raised me. And growing up, I did feel that pressure to go back home to the family farm. Everyone was like, oh, Sabrina's going to go back to the farm. So when I had the opportunity to run off to college, I took it. I was the small town girl with the big city dreams. I'd done show choir and powerlifting in high school. I was made for big things. So I ran off to college and I wasn't looking back. And within a year there, I started undecided. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, if there's any Badgers in the room. Yeah. I started out in life sciences communications. I was going to focus on communicating and talking about the sciences, and that's the way I'm going to go. But within a year, I added on the dairy science major, just in case. This might help me later on in life. They're always like, build your resume. I was like, great, I'll put this on there too. So college was an interesting experience. I had a winter vortex my freshman year that shut down campus for a while. We were stuck in our dorms eating rice in a steamer. And we had the pandemic that sent me back to the farm for about 6 months. And it was crazy. And there were all these crazy things happening in the world. But despite it all, I was the small town girl with the big city dreams. I was going to have it all. I was going to rule the world. And I was chasing it. And I was president of the Association of Women in Agriculture. And I was the officer on all these different organizations. And I had good grades. And I was taking theater classes and art classes and astronomy classes. And I was gonna have it all, And then I got this internship. My junior year, I had the opportunity to intern with Organic Valley. And I was so excited. I was like, this is a national brand. Like, I got picked for this. I was so pumped. And I got into the office. On my first day, I was way overdressed. And I was so excited. I was working with these passionate, talented, intelligent people. They care so deeply for the small farmers across America. And they were so excited to go to work every day. And what I discovered was my favorite part of the day was leaving early to go home and bring cows in from pasture. And I realized that I was sitting there watching the clock on the wall. My previous boss is actually in the room right now. This is news to him. Watching the clock on the wall tick by because I didn't want to be there. Instead of hanging out with all my intern friends, I wanted to be at home having dinner with my family. I was so homesick. I was homesick for the farm. And I was homesick for my family. Flash forward, May 2022. I graduate college. I go home to the family farm. And no one expected me to come home. They didn't know what to do with me. I told everyone I was going to leave, and yet here I was, letting cows out to pasture every day. And I sat there thinking to myself, did I throw it all away? Was this the right choice? Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. And I was letting cows out to pasture, and I couldn't believe I'd just done. What had I done? So, what no one tells you about college is that when you graduate, you feel kind of empty. You have your whole life ahead of you, and no one's telling you what to do anymore. So it gives you the opportunity to fill yourself with purpose. Everybody wants to rule the world. When I was in college, I was going to rule the world. I was going to have everything. And yet, that internship at Organic Valley is kind of what started to help me have purpose. While I was there, I was introduced to these great people behind the Farmers and Marketing program. And what they do is they make sure that these small family farmers can travel the country and tell the story of their farm, from their farm or at places like this. So joining them, I began to find purpose. On farm, I was also finding my purpose. I was feeding calves every morning. I was letting cows out to pasture in the springtime, and I was cultivating corn in the summer. And there's a spot at the back of the farm. You can see it on the monitors here. There's a spot at the back of the farm where I park my ATV after I let all the cows out. And I like to take a moment, and I sit there, and I look out on the hill. There's usually a breeze. We're up on the ridgetop. And it's not very sunny there, but there's like good fog, and there's rolling hills, and there's trees, and you can hear all the birds and all the bugs flying around. And I can see all my beautiful cows, and I can see the barn that me and my brothers helped build in high school. And when I look out and I see all of that, I know where I'm meant to be. Everybody wants to rule the world. And as the song goes, the previous line, turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. What do we sacrifice when we choose money and power over everything else, over our passions? What do we sacrifice? The earth, her people, our food systems? When I think of my family farm back home in Wisconsin, and I think of all the wildlife and all the greenery and all the good things there, I think to myself, if there is nothing else left in this world, I will protect this one last place. Because if there's nothing else left, I will have what's here. Everybody wants to rule the world. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. Should someone rule the world? I don't think so. But I do think that if we want to protect the hundreds of places like my family farm, it takes all of us making little decisions every day. Choices in the grocery store, choices walking home, picking up litter, recycling. There's so many, 100 little things add up. There are billions of people in this world, and if we all do 100 little things, we can change the world, and we can rule our own world. Thank you, and happy Climate Week.